Hey everybody, Cliff Barron from Remax here. My update for Milton, Georgetown Glen Williams for March 14th to the 20th, 2021. Before I get there, I've got, like I said last week, I've got a million stories about, real estate. I've been in this for 15 years, probably visited over 10,000 homes and, sold hundreds and hundreds of homes. So I've got tons of stories, but I can't tell them all, obviously, but I've got a few. So this is a good one. I was talking to some clients last week, and I said to them, hey, this is a story I'm going to tell next week when I do my video. So here it is. This is about, in Milton, about 10, maybe 11 years ago. I had a client of mine, actually a friend of mine, who his brother won the Princess Margaret Lottery home in King City, I think it was. Maybe 15 years ago, I think worth about $2.5 million, and he ended up selling and retiring, and I was like, everybody was like, wow, what a lucky guy, so fast forward a couple years later, his brother, who's a friend of mine, called me up and said, hey Cliff, I got some news for you. And I said what? And he goes, I won a house. And I was like, come on, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, I won a house, I'm serious. So he won one of the Princess Margaret, not the grand prize one, but one of the big ones in Milton, or one of the smaller ones in Milton. So I was like, I can't believe it, two in the same family. So anyways, he said, I don't live in the area, I want to sell it, so can you help me sell it? So I said, sure, no problem. So we met at the house. It was fully furnished and everything, and one of the difficult things about selling that house, I remember, is I had to itemize every single item in the house because the furniture was sold along with the house. That's part of the story, but not the main part of the story. So that was a lot of work because there was I think we sold about $30,000 worth of furniture and accessories and everything. We had to itemize everything. But this is the story. So the house was fully furnished, ready to go, and I listed it on a Thursday, I think it was. I listed on a Thursday, whatever day it was. And I had a showing later that day, and it was August. I think it was July, August, somewhere around there. And it was hot outside, probably 95, 90 degrees outside, 30, 32, whatever it is in Celsius. And there's a showing booked. I got a call later that evening from the agent that went through for feedback. And I said, hey, how'd it go? And he goes, oh, beautiful house. He goes, the only problem is it was really hot in there. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. This time of year, it's maybe the air conditioning is not working. And so I thought, okay, the next day I'll go back and I'll go to the house and I'll take a look and see what's going on. And we had another showing the next morning come in. And the agent immediately called me right after and said, hey, Cliff, there's something wrong in that house. You got to get to the house because it's really, really hot. And when that happened, when I got the second red flag, I was like, oof, I got to go check this out. So I immediately got in my car and I went to the house and I opened the front door, and it was literally like I walked into a sauna. It was incredible. So I think it was probably 130 degrees or so, somewhere around there. The heat was stuck on full blast, and it had been like that for about a week, I think it was, before we actually listed it. Because my client was way out of town. He was never there. It was about 130 degrees, and it was so hot. This is the best part. It was so hot that when I walked in, they had part of the home. They had candles everywhere, big 6-inch candles, and they were all drooped right over, melted, completely melted. And the carpet was like this. It was like waves in the ocean. The carpets, the Berber carpet, it all waved and everything. So we immediately took the home off the market. I called my client and said, oh my God, you got to get over here and take a look at this. And we immediately took it off the market. Called Green Park. It was their home, and they came in. They fixed the heat, and within 2 days, unbelievably, everything went back to normal. The carpet was perfectly flat, and everything was perfect. We put it on the market. We sold again. We put it back on the market, sold it. Not a single issue. Cleaned up the wax, obviously, from the candles, but that was one crazy story. Like when somebody says it's hot in your house, it was hot in that house. Anyway, so getting to the stats for Milton, March 14th to the 20th, still busy, still busy, and I'm seeing numbers that I still haven't seen in the past ever, so 24 townhouses sold 874 on average, 10 semis 990 on average, almost $1 million, and let's see, 35 two-story detached homes sold for 1.309 on average, which is crazy. And back splits, side splits, all that sort of stuff in older Milton, 6 of them sold for 1.121. When it comes to condos, condo towns are now approaching 700,000 on average. There's 5 sales, 693 on average price, so approaching 700. And then condos in general are approaching 600. 9 sales of those approaching 600, which is hotter than Oakville, Mississauga, anywhere for condos. It's unbelievable. And then Georgetown and Glen Williams. Check out this number. I've never seen this one. So 2-story detached, 14 sales in Georgetown, 1.383 on average. It's incredible. There's houses I sold in October going for 300,000 more now. It's unbelievable. How long can it last? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, really. 6 sales of detached, back splits, side splits, that sort of stuff. 1.166 on average. 1 townhouse sold for $850 and 3 semis sold for $797 on average. Those are the older semis, they Delrex. So that's why they go a little bit lower than the newer semis. But there aren't a lot, as everybody knows, in Georgetown. And there was no sales of condos or condo towns during the week of March 14th to the 20th in Georgetown and Glen Williams. Okay, so that's my update for the week. Any questions, send me a PM, DM, email, whatever, phone call, whatever works for you. And like I said, if there's ever a house in your area that's sold and you're curious about the price, just let me know. I'll look it up for you. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.